is everybody ready? All right. Welcome to the Controller Showdown. This is the Elvis edition. So this year we're going to do the Elvis edition, and the host today will be me, Elvis, and Abe is Elvis. So I am Gus Border. I'm with Cochran Supply and Engineering. I'm the regional sales leader for the Cochran Supply South and West. And helping me today is Abe Monreal. He is our area market leader for the South. So in today's Controller Showdown, we're going to hear from 5 of the industry leaders on BAS controls. The BAS controller is really the heartbeat of the building automation system. And what we're going to have them do is come up here and they're going to give us their PowerPoint presentation on their best controller. And what we're going to hear about is how many I/O does it have on it? How is it going to be cyber secure? Does it have an embedded workbench or whatever in it? We're going to hear all those things today. So, are you guys ready to rock and roll? Yep. So all right. So the rules here are going to be each contestant or manufacturer up here is going to have 8 minutes only to give us their best presentation on their best controller. My Elvis assistant over here is going to start a clock, and that clock's going to count down from 8 all the way to 0. And at 0, they're going to be done. So on my command, when they're ready, we're going to say, "Are you ready to rock?" And then that's when they're going to start their presentation. Before they start their presentation, they're going to come up, and they're going to give a little introduction about themselves. And as soon as they're ready, they get their PowerPoint up. Then we're going to say, "Are you ready to rock?" When the time goes down, I am then going to say, "Elvis has left the building." And that's when they can no longer present, their time is up, and the clock will be beeping over there. Are you guys ready? All right? So at the end of this, everybody will get a chance to, when they're all done, you, the audience, gets to vote on who is the best presenter, or who has the best controller. We're going to put a QR code up on the screen, and then you guys are going to vote that way. So when we're done, everybody get their phone out. We're going to give you plenty of time to get the QR code and get done. Today is a random draw. So we like to do a random draw so they don't know ahead of time who's going to go first. So up first is going to be Isma. Isma. Are you ready, Isma?
You're ready.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it works.
Guys, I am so happy that I brought my own Elvis with me. Because those guys would steal the show. My name is Pavel Sharmański. I'm Solution Product Manager at ISMA Controlli. I'm very happy to be here for the second time at a Controller Showdown. And today is the VV14IP Elvis edition. So,
are you ready to rock?
Ready. So we've been working on something for some time now, and we are very proud of it. And yeah, why not sharing that with you, the VV14IP controller. But let me start with a quick comparison. Elvis Presley was born on 1935, and Controlli, our Italian branch, was founded on 1936. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. But there's more in it that's so exciting is when you think about the person that is, you know, the first person you think when you say rock and roll is Elvis Presley. And Controlli was the first company in Italy that focused on controls equipment for the HVAC industry. And Controlli, the company name, it actually means controls in Italian. So it's like your hairdresser salon would be called just hairdresser, right? The point is we try to not to follow the trends, but to innovate and create ones. And a good example of that is our line of IO modules. A decade ago, we complemented our line of serial IO modules with an IP ones. So it was in the time when no one were really doing any IP controls. We created a whole line of 12 different type of IO modules. And now, now the market is all IP. And similarly, we did the same with our VEV controller. So, engineer with rockstar confidence. What's the timing? Good. Our VEV controller is IP-based. It has an integrated actuator. It was our first product that we launched especially for the US market. It is a unique two-in-one. It's fully configurable controller, but it's also programmable. It's flexible in configuration. It supports over 200 types of VEV boxes. And we built into so many time-saving tools for commissioning, configuration, balancing. I'll tell you about in a second. So this innovative hardware with 13 IOs, cable grip system so they just are not loose around, and fail-safe Ethernet switch brings it all together and creates one unique VEV controller. And when we look at the specification side for the certification, it is all BACnet approved with application-specific controller. It is UL listed and has features like the fail-safe switch, which means whenever you install those controllers on the IP layer and for some reason one of the controller fails, the network will still operate smoothly because of the physical relay switches on the IP layer. But it's not just about the hardware, because rockstars, they don't want to use all the complicated tools. So we build tools that will help you perform with this product. So I mentioned already the VEV box types we support is over 200. It's actually 216 VEV box types. You can easily configure with 4 options. Starting with the first option, just simply quick and easy dip switches. The second option is a dedicated control point panel, which is a room operating unit with temperature, humidity, and CO2 sensor that you can use for configuration and balancing the VEV. The third option, if you have a PC with you or a Windows tablet, you can use our free of charge ISMA configurator, which will allow you to do exactly the same what you can do with the CP panel, but with a nice front interface. And lastly, but definitely not least, we have option for configuration for every product we have in our portfolio inside Niagara. So if you're a Niagara user, you can really easily configure that VEV. So let's start with just the CP panel. If you have a controller installed on the network and it's connected to the wall panel, you can just click on the buttons on the panel and use it for the configuration. But let's say you have a laptop with you. This CP panel has a USB-C port. You can simply connect to the USB-C port with your laptop and open our ISMA configurator to do that with the front interface. So that speeds up the configuration of one-to-one of those controllers. But why don't we take advantage of the BACnet IP network that we have, right? If you connect to your BACnet IP network, you can use the same ISMA configurator to just open the VEV configurator inside and discover all of your VEV boxes in this tool and configure them all at once. So that really speeds up the configuration with just a single tool. But again, the fourth option, if you're a Niagara user, will give you the VEV application configuration, setting up the flow, and even balancing directly into a dedicated service inside Niagara. So whatever product you choose to use on the top, if it's a Niagara 4 Workbench, a Mac 36 Pro, which is our powered by Niagara controller, or a JS 9000, you can easily drop the service inside your Niagara station to discover all those controllers on the network and switch up the configuration easily. But the built-in application is not just it, because flexibility is what makes the rock stars creative. So if you're like a multi-instrumentalist, you can also be an engineer that would like to have more applications than a controller than one. And if you are using the IP, you would like also to use sometimes the RS-485 bus that is available on the network for retrofits. And for that reason, we built our very own first controller with T1L, VAV14 T1L. That is, if you don't know what a T1L is, it's a 2-wire twisted pair Ethernet that will allow you to go over the limitations of the standard IP over 330 feet, go 10 times more, and speeds up the communication in comparison to the standard RS-485 networks. But what's most important is it will allow you to reuse the existing wiring on the building for RS-485 or Loanworks. So that's the hardware side of the flexibility. But the other side is our own NanoEdge engine that is an ultra lightweight software platform, which is freely programmable. It's cycle driven, so you can have more than one application sitting in one controller. It is native for Modbus and BACnet, and it's completely license free while being modular. So you can even develop your own libraries in C# for that product. Completely free of charge tools. All the tools I said are free, and all the updates perpetually for this controller are free of charge. And the tool, as you could expect, is Niagara Workbench. So you can easily develop your application inside Niagara Wiresheet. And if you don't want to use Niagara for some reason on this project, we have another tool. IC tool. There's more. Come to our booth because the time is up.
Elvis, absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Abe, he said 4 ways to configure it, and he used our favorite word, free. So we gotta like that. So our next up is ABB. So while ABB is getting ready, I took some time to see, look up some Elvis one-liners. And one of the one-liners, a lot of these match our business today. One of the one-liners is, take care of your fans and they will take care of you. Like the vendors, like us at Cochrane, we take care of our customers and they take care of us. So I thought that was a pretty good one-liner from the King.
Good afternoon, everyone. If I would have known I was going up against an Elvis prop today, I would have brought my costume. But I didn't, but I have a pretty sweet controller I'm going to show you guys today. I'm Brandon Voiles. I am the regional sales manager for ABB. Been with the company for about 5 years, and today I'm going to be sharing about Building Pro Edge. Oh, sorry.
Let's rock and roll.
All right, so as I said, we're going to be talking about the Building Pro Edge today. I'm excited that we've announced this just a couple of months ago and released this into our portfolio. So Building Pro Edge is going to be the latest add to our series of controllers that brings a new front end to ABB, meaning it's a powerhouse of analytics capabilities, commissioning, and cybersecure at the core of the controller itself, and it all lives on what we call the open boss ontology. So first and foremost, as regards to the specs, I didn't make a slide for this specifically for you guys, but it has 2 RJ45 ports for BACnet over IP. Those are each dedicated. And it also has 2 MSTP ports, 2 RS45 ports to support a number of protocols, including BACnet MSTP, KNX, Modbus, IP and RTU, and we can also do Loanworks over IP and MQTT. So several different protocols that we can integrate to, and we're also working on a driver development kit for third-party drivers to where we can do any legacy protocols in the future and allow anyone out there that's a partner with us to develop them as well. So several different parts of what makes the Edge special, and the first and foremost is the layer it sits on at the edge. It is a full 100% web-based engineering and end-user facing tool. So what that means is on the hardware itself, there's no software that resides on your PC. All you have to do is log into the web browser to build your graphics, build your database, assign your templates, alarms, and so forth, and then once you turn it over to the end user, they get the same familiar look that's going to be repeatable for you guys across every single project. So those two tools that are built into that web-based or HTML web interface is called Building Pro Editor from an engineering standpoint, and then we have Building Pro Vision from an end user standpoint. And then here toward the end, I will talk about how this connects to our cloud solution via OpenBoss API and how we can bring in third-party or ABB analytics tools for energy efficiency and so forth. So starting with the Building Pro Vision, the end-user facing tool, it's very simple to navigate. Give anybody an hour at the most, and you will probably be able to get through the system no problem. And everything is actually built off of the graphics, so it's very representational of the entire building. And all of your standard graphics that exist in the Edge, you can add your own as well. But trending, alarming, templates that make that all repeatable is going to be available. And it allows for the end user to very easily navigate either a portfolio of buildings or a single building. So a nice feature with Building Pro Vision is we give end users the capability to define their own dashboards through widgets. So this is not done by the system integrator, it's actually done by the end user themselves, where they can just drag and drop a widget onto their dashboard. They can create multiple dashboards if they'd like to, and they can each grant different levels of access to those types of dashboards depending on what they're interested in looking at. So could be energy metering only, lighting control. You're interested in a particular set of points that are most significant in your building. However you want to organize that data, all can be done through the dashboard by simply just drag and drop and then selecting the correct point, and then it's ready to go for them. And then the Building Pro Editor is the other tool that's embedded into the Edge that allows you to build your database again. And as I mentioned earlier, everything is done through the graphical interface. So you actually start with the floor plans as opposed to working at the controller level that we're used to seeing. And what that does is it allows you to make a repeatable set of templates that you can apply across every project, and also it allows you to build onto what's called the OpenBoss ontology that I'll get to here in just a second. So with that being said, instead of the devices making up the majority of the database, we actually use what's called assets. And an asset is a physical representation or of a mechanical piece of equipment in a building. So it could be a chiller, it could be a fan coil. And the beauty of it is you create it once, and we have a standardized point library that we use that's from our ontology, and then you just map it to a controller and you can repeat that very quickly across the entire building. So it's a huge time saver, and again, you can deploy this across multiple projects of similar types of equipment. So in addition to that ontology, the OpenBoss ontology itself is made up of our own characterization that we built off of the brick schema and real estate core. So in addition to that, we'll be looking at the AHR 223P and Project Haystack, but brick and real estate core is our primary ones we focus on because those, instead of a tagging based system, those are ontology based, and what that means is you can basically find anything within your building that's mapped to a space or a piece of equipment, a temperature sensor. You dial all the way down. If I want to say search for every space temperature that is greater than 80 degrees in this particular space, it'll quickly do that for you. And in addition to that, this actually does the auto tagging as you're building the database. So analytics and API access is not going to be an afterthought. We always run into the end of a project as system integrators where you don't have time to get everything correctly tagged. It's a lot to manage. Well, Building Pro Edge is different because it does that all behind the scenes as you're adding your points and creating your database. And so when you talk about the cybersecurity of this, we have what's called a Building Pro portal that the Edge connects to directly, and it allows a secured means of accessing a building across your entire portfolio. So if you're a system integrator, that means you can access all your sites remotely to make any modifications or service them. If you are a building owner across several buildings around the country or around the world, you can very easily tie those all into your portfolio and navigate to them pretty quickly. And like I said, it's a cloud portal. It's completely secure. It eliminates the need for a VPN. And we're looking forward to releasing our later products of Building Pro Suites to tie all this up and go into one API. Thank you.
Well, Abe, he finished early, didn't he? Did a good job. What I did notice on that one, too, is he also said that it was one tool. We like using one tool, right? Not multiple tools sometimes. So one tool is pretty handy. So here's another one. Our next up is going to be Phoenix Contact. So while Phoenix gets ready, here's another one of Elvis's famous quotes. Thank you very much. I'm sure you guys have heard that. So it also correlates to our business, right? So we always tell our customers, thank you very much for doing business with us. So.
Good afternoon. My name's Paul Langworthy. I'm the industry manager for Phoenix Contact for building automation. I took a little bit of a different approach today. We have more than one amazing product that we have out there right now. So it's a bit of a challenge, but what I'd like to talk about.
Are you ready to rock and roll?
Thank you. So what I'd really like to talk today about is you as our customer. Many of you know Phoenix Contact has been around for a long time, and in this industry, what we're all doing is building for a better future. Every product we create at Phoenix Contact is about impacting what you do every day. We want to inspire our customers. It's more than just a controller. It's more than just all these protocols that we're talking about. It's the actual experience that you have working with us. We've been working very hard on strengthening our solutions, and that's how we got to the point where we have two products that you can take a look at today. I don't know how you can score two products together, but we'll get to that in a minute. And we really want to strengthen the solutions through reality. Who here has heard of Phoenix Contact? So we're familiar to most everyone in the room. And what we really want to do through these variety of products is create flexibility for you in any application, and most of all, support you as a customer. So we've been around for over 100 years, and we are located all over the world. So it's more than just where you're going to install your product today, but it's about where you are anywhere in the world. And even though we are focusing on this controller today, we have every product that you will need to surround your controller in your system. And we take this seriously. One of the challenges we have today is there's a continually degrading of our product quality on the market. And the controller is the heartbeat of the design, but you must keep in mind all the other parts of that design that are being put together. So at Phoenix Contact, we take this so seriously that we actually use our products in our own buildings. This includes monitoring power through our solar system. This includes automation in our manufacturing. This includes building automation. So all of those things we take very seriously and develop for ourselves. We actually have the experts in each of those areas in our booth for the show today. So what it comes down to is we have two options for you. We have a more traditional Jace controller, and this is has a smaller footprint than a lot of the competition. So as you're forced over the next year or so to make a decision on an upgrade, we have a device that can fit into your existing design, but also the base unit comes with I/O, which makes it easier to integrate. We also have our ILC series. Our ILC series allows you to add slices of I/O customized for your application. So the first question is, what are we trying to accomplish? What application are we using this in? And of course, this is all based on the Niagara platform. So what it comes down to today for this show is we have these industry experts at this show for you. And we would like to make an offer that anyone in the room that wants to come by, we will actually do a design for you at this show. And all we need you to do is come to booth C344, and we will help you figure out which of these two products is best for your application. And then we can talk more about the actual features that are built into those controllers and really about what's important to you. So if you are here, when you get back, you might have to tell your boss that you went out and drank and that you went to some parties, and you might want to have something to show for being here at the show today. So we'd really like to meet you personally, and we'd like to walk through a design with you so you can see all the tools we have available to help you on your next project. Thank you very much.
All right, up next will be DizTech. And let's see, we have another one here, another one of Elvis's favorite one-liners. Elvis Presley's famous motto was, "Taking care of business." Kind of goes hand in hand with what we're all doing today, taking care of our automation business.
Hi everybody, Scott Schaefer, Director of Sales with DizTech Controls. Pleasure to be back again this year defending our championship from last year. So, here we go. All right, we're ready? Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. You heard the guy.
All right, I'm going to start with asking you guys a question. What is DizTech Controls mostly known for? The first thing that you can think of to yell out. Yell it out. What are we known for in the industry? Not the word I was looking for, but you're getting there. Okay. I was looking for innovation technology. A lot of people think of us in that aspect. So where I'm going to go with that. So over a decade ago, we launched the Eclipse IP controllers. And literally at 2015 AHR, that's where we came out with the IP line. That started a whole new industry trend. We all know, IP has become the standard today. So what I'm going to talk about is this technology and where we've progressed on this. Last year, I presented the Apex controller. The Eclipse Apex controller is still the most amazing, powerful controller in the industry, no question about it. I went through taught you all the tools and about it last year, but I didn't want to repeat the same controller. We want to tell you guys about something new this year, and DizTech's come out with a lot of new technology in the last year. Because we are that innovation technology leader, we constantly have new stuff to talk about. So I'm not going to repeat the Apex. I'm going to talk about a Generation 2 controller. So now that Eclipse has been out over a decade, we came out with what we're now calling Eclipse Generation 2 controllers, better, faster, etc., improved. And in this Generation 2, now you're all thinking, oh, he's going to talk about the 650, what controller is he going to talk about? I'm actually going to surprise you guys. Talk about a little controller called our Resense Move. Resense Move is actually a controller in the industry that does 7 different features within one controller. And what's amazing about this controller, and yes, a lot of you guys are going to look at this and think, that's just a sensor. This is actually an Eclipse IP controller, has the same resources as any other Eclipse controller, same 4 gig of memory, 1 gigahertz speed, same processing power of any other Eclipse controller, which is amazing when you think of the size of this thing. 7 features in one. So this is a true people counter. The reason why it took us 2.5 years to bring this to market is the AI machine learning to get this developed so it really understands people in a room, like this room or any other room that has people entering and leaving. So it really recognizes those people. In addition to that, we added several other features to this controller: light intensity, total VOCs, sound levels. I'm going to give you some case studies where all these make sense. Temperature, humidity, etc. So all that built into this little tiny controller. I want to reiterate that. So how does it do people counting? We use an infrared camera. So the infrared camera is not a video. It's actually compliance with just being able to count people, and this is how we did the machine learning of how it recognizes you as bodies versus any other heat source in the room, whether that's a laptop, a computer, somebody who's sitting, whatever. So with this technology, we can be very accurate in counting the people entering and leaving a room. Why is that useful? We'll talk about that in a minute, but I wanted to give you a couple use cases of installation. So obviously we can just mount this in a ceiling. So this whole controller, you just mount it in a ceiling grid. That's simple. Recommended 8 to 10 feet above the floor. If you have a taller ceiling, we can do a pendant mount. That's what the other accessory you see here for mounting these things. So very simple to install this thing. What features does it have? So the same tools we use for all the Eclipse IP controllers. So you can web browse into this thing, just like you do any Eclipse controller. You can use our mobile app to interface to it. Runs the same GFX programming that you would have in a 600. So any Eclipse controller type program has got that same kind of resource. Express network utility, launching, etc. So literally you treat this thing just like another IP controller on the network. That's the power of this thing. IoT ready. So I can power this thing just PoE. So I've got a couple different ways to install this for you. So you could run a single Cat 5, Cat 6 to this just to power it. You can also network it. So if you have a Distech Eclipse system, you can network this in the network, or you could run it PoE off of all the Generation 2 Eclipse controllers, meaning that there's a subnet PoE off of the Generation 2 controller that powers this thing. In fact, I can daisy chain it to another one, so I can power a couple of these off of each controller out in the field. That's simple install. You can't get any simpler than that. A Cat 5, Cat 6 of this thing, it's installed, and then it gives you all 7 of those features. Can I install this on other systems? Sure. Doesn't even have to be Distech. It could be any one of these guys' systems. It's still a unified controller that could control on any IP network. So you've got many, many options. You could also hardwire it. So you can see there's a 48 volt DC power supply that you could power it with. So many, many options for how you install this. Comes in a couple different flavors and colors. Black or white. One of the cool features I haven't talked about yet is the indicator light on it. So that indicator light can be used to tell you lots of different things. Indicate many things from noise levels, quality control, whether rooms are reserved or been used, etc. Let me give you some more examples of this. So, office buildings. You guys all work in office buildings. We always notice that there's different size conference rooms. You have the little conference rooms, 2 or 3 people. You'll have big conference rooms that have a dozen or more people. By using the data I store from this thing, this gives me data every day, that I can say, hey, the big conference room's always only got 2 or 3 people in it. We can be a much more productive office and not have people standing around by dividing that big conference room into more conference rooms. So that's one of your cases for using this. Another one is janitorial. So, sorry, getting a dry throat. When you talk to big commercial real estate people like CBRE, one of the most expensive costs to the building is janitorial services. Wouldn't it be helpful when they come in if they can just see by these recently moved controllers which rooms had been occupied that day and which ones hadn't? If it hadn't been used today, clean it tomorrow. Just another use case study for this. Air renewal. We all talk about ventilation and doing ventilation control. So a room like this, a room that we're used to doing, is based on CO2. We put CO2 sensors in there, wait for the CO2 levels to come up. Even if you schedule it, you're still looking at that as a resource of how much ventilation do I need in that room. Wouldn't it be way better to know the minute everybody came in here, literally the second, that we had 100 people walking in the room versus having to react? So this gets you very proactive. Noise levels. So a lot of people don't even think about this, but workspaces are much more productive when the noise levels are at levels people want to work at. Healthcare is another one that we really notice noise levels. So noise detection is just another sensor that's built into this controller that we can actually control to and help be more productive in workplaces. And then healthcare seems to be a big one where people actually recover better with appropriate noise levels. So again, just a couple more different use cases on this controller. Advanced room booking, same thing. I could tell, if a room's booked or not just by the color of the LED light. I can actually warn the people in the room by either doing a flashing light or whatever message you want. It can be a certain color. It could be a flashing light saying, hey, there's another meeting coming in here in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So another indicator that you can use. And then what we call unified room control. So unified room control to us, Acuity, is you got full control of that room. We have temperature, humidity, occupancy. We're doing lighting control. We're operating the window blinds. We're doing summer-winter control, year-round type control. We can do that much better using this controller. Makes sense. And Elvis has left the building. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Well, we have another previous winner going next. Honeywell's going next. I have one more Elvis one-liners here, or what Elvis was most famous for. His two-word nickname is Elvis the Pelvis. Abe, can you show us that?
That's appropriate. How about a hand for young Elvis over here? Yeah.
It's the old Elvis, obviously. I was going to try to say.
What did it say?
How's the arms holding up over there, Elvis?
Steve booting up. It looks like we'll probably have a little bit of time for questions afterwards. So get your questions ready, and you can ask any of the panelists or all of the panelists a question.
Yeah, I like to move around, but I guess I'll stay here. Thank you very much. Steve Hoffman, I work for Honeywell, been in this industry since I had black hair. And I'm going to talk about the Honeywell Optimizer Advanced Controller, but before I do, kudos to ISMA for producing another T1L controller in the market. I think all of us need to get BACnet IP across twisted pair wires to drive down installation costs and increase speed from 78K baud MSTP to BACnet IP.
Is this part of your presentation, Steve?
No.
Okay.
I just had this chance. I got a chance to talk to a lot of people in the room, so there you go.
Are you ready to rock now?
I'm ready to rock. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's get after this. So, I talk pretty quick. Honeywell Optimizer Advanced Controller. It's Niagara. So if you're familiar with the JS 9000, you're familiar with this product. What we did is took the Niagara framework and put it in a different hardware stack to provide you more functionality, more features that you don't get in a JS 9. The typical stuff, single engineering tool, Niagara, open NIC statement. It's got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capabilities. We embed our advanced plant controller with our IRM tool, our field controller tool, but that's a portable tool that you can put in any one of these other folks' Niagara package. 5-year warranty. Typical JACE 9000 has 18 months. We give you 5 years on this thing. Same. If you're familiar with Niagara, you know all this. 4 times the power of a JACE 8. You've probably heard that, right? It's JACE 9, quad-core processor. The point is, it's the same thing as a JACE 8000. A couple of features to save you time. Tiny one right here. However, one nonetheless. Little clips, flip it on a DIN rail. Hey, I could put that in. Elvis could, if he was still here, he could put it in. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, either Elvis could put it in. Here's where we start differentiating a little bit from the JACE 9000. It's available with 3 IP ports on the second NIC card. They're embedded with the Rapid Spanning Tree Protocol. I can disable those ports. I can do MAC filtering on each of those ports. I can do cable diagnostics. I'll dive a little bit in on each one of these features. 802.1, just like a JACE 9000 with Niagara 412. So, advantage of Rapid Spanning Tree Protocol. I would assume a lot of us nerds in this room know this, but if you don't, it gives you the ability to make a redundant loop. I'm showing a bunch of advanced plant controllers, but I would really only need one advanced plant controller with the 2 ports, and then the rest of the controllers can just be anybody's BACnet IP controllers, and I got a redundant loop. That's what RSTP does for you. Cable diagnostics. We get a lot of our contractors really liking this. Troubleshooting, if you ever lose any kind of, if my cat cable gets nicked in any way, any one of the wires, you immediately find that out through the cable diagnostics. It's just embedded in the controller. You can have an alarm pop up, and it tells you how far from the port you have damaged cable, whether it's just one of the strands or all the strands or whatever. Pretty cool. As I mentioned, I can disable the extra ports. Obviously, cybersecurity is a big deal. I'm only using 2 of the 3 ports. Disable the 3rd port, and you know, it's dead. It is no longer active. IT folks like that. MAC filtering, another huge cybersecurity piece of this product. So any device that is on one of your ports, each of your ports is how I should say it. I create a whitelist, a MAC address for each one of those devices, create the list. Now, any device that I add to that network needs to be added to that list or it won't talk. Likewise, a bad actor gets access to that network, plugs a laptop in, laptop's MAC address is in the whitelist, locked, can't connect. IT folks like it. Standard base model has like a Jason 9000, one-in-one Ethernet port on each NIC card and 2 RS-45s. We can expand it up to 3 Ethernet ports and up to 4 RS-45 ports, and then I can also add this I/O adapter to make it a 5th. If you notice on the side of the advanced plant controller, you got those touch flakes. Another added feature. Top touch flake is power, bottom touch flake is communication. So as I add devices like the I/O modules you'll see in a minute, or this I/O adapter, I just slide it on and I don't have any remote wiring whoops or any of that kind of stuff. It just starts talking and powered. Status indicator on the face of it, kind of like Scott's cool device. It has the light on it. So we tried to make it simple again. Right, all of our Optimizer Suite controllers now have this. So green, yellow, red, pretty simple stuff. You know, you got an issue, you know, something's not going right. Facility guy talks to one of his techs who's not Niagara, right? He just goes up to the panel, opens it up. Is it green? Yeah, it's green. Okay, close it, go, move on to another one. It's something else, right? Yellow, I got an issue with my station. Red, I got a platform issue. And now you can start deep diving. A whole portfolio of I/O modules. So I'm showing you here one of them that's, you know, how that just slides right in those touch flakes. You can get up to, I believe the number is 892 points on this thing. It's more than you'd ever need, but we say 256 gets you about a 1 second cycle time. So it's hugely expandable. So now I'm not using a Jace as a master controller. I'm using it a plant controller as well to control stuff. Various I/O modules. There's the whole list. 4-point, 8-point, 16-point, whatever you need. Universal I/Os, digital outs, whatever. Whole portfolio. Good, better, best. So no handoff overrides is good. Handoff auto overrides on the second one, and then the really nice one that shows all of the points that are coming into that handoff auto, and I can turn the dial and move to the point, push on it, make a change, do whatever I want to do. How are we doing, Elvis? Hot swap bases for those I/O modules, so that if there's a critical infrastructure project, air handling unit, I'm putting the advanced plant controller on it. And I want to make sure that if at any time down the road an I/O module fails, I can use these hot swap bases so that the hot swap base continues power and communication to all the I/O modules downstream if I were to have one fail. So I can take it out, replace it on the fly, replace it, and everybody else downstream keeps going. Optional HMI, don't get that with a Jace 9, sorry Tritium. Gives you access to do a bunch of things. Scheduling, alarm, look at alarms, overrides from an HMI, slides right onto the left side of the advanced plant controller. All your Niagara points just come right into this thing. So there's not really a whole lot of engineering going on. There's kind of a common theme amongst all of us up here. We're trying to streamline things. So there's pretty cool. You got this HMI, excuse me. So that's sexy. That's as sexy as it gets, isn't it? My wife laughs louder when I say those kind of things than y'all just did. But anyway, your sexy little look there. There's your advanced plant controller. There's the summary. 5-year warranty. Oh man, I'm on time. Thank you, baby. Thank you very much.
I want to thank Hoff for not writing vote for Hoff on every side like you did before.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, go ahead. We got some time for questions as our lovely assistant comes up here and puts up the QR code for everybody to vote. Any questions for any of our panelists, for all of our panelists? No questions, okay. They're ready. You guys are ready for happy hour. That's what you're ready for. So if you see me out on the strip, make sure you take a picture of me and slip me some money. That'd be nice. Yep, let's go. Here's the QR code. So vote, and I believe we're interviewing the winner tomorrow. So you vote today, and we're going to interview the winner tomorrow and announce the winner for you. So make sure you vote. Well, I think we got some algorithms in there to make sure no one votes too many times. I'd like to thank each of our panelists. Let's give it up for our panelists for coming up here and getting put under the gun and getting their presentations done in the 8-minute allotted time. Thank you, guys. So if you guys don't have any questions, you may leave. Thank you. Elvis has left the building.
Good job, Scott.
No.
Good.